Hey everyone, it's Alan Schimmel. For today, Friday, April 24th, you're watching TechStrong TV. Welcome. If you haven't watched TechStrong TV before, we stream this every day, Monday to Friday, for about anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. We're trying to bring you some good news. We're trying to bring you some tech news. We're trying to keep everyone connected to the community, collaboration, what's going on out here, what other people are thinking. We hope you find it interesting. Whether you're joining us on the web, at TechStrong TV, Digital Anarchist, or any of the media ops site, DevOps.com, Container Journal, Security Boulevard, welcome. If you're watching this on Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, or our YouTube DevOps TV Live link, welcome. Or maybe you're watching it on your phone, your tablet, or your TV on the DevOps.com app, on Roku, Apple TV, or Amazon Fire. Again, welcome. We try to distribute this as widely as possible. It is available on demand, so if you're not watching the stream, which starts live at 9:30, Monday to Friday a.m., that's okay too. Thanks for joining us is the important thing. We've got a special edition TechStrong TV today for you on Friday. More than half of our show, a third of our show today, is really a rebroadcast of a recent virtual event that just happened a day or two ago, and it's put on by Qualys, and it's part of VMDR, their new platform that really represents about 20 years of security practices, development, getting to the point where we can really get a handle on what you have in your network, what its security posture is, what vulnerabilities there are, what can be patched, what can be secured, and how so, and giving you visibility into all of that. It's about an hour and a half long. We're going to show the VMDR virtual event in its entirety. But before we do that, we're actually going to have two quick interviews, one with Philippe Courteau, the CEO, chairman of Qualys, and really a pioneer in the info security space, kind of legendary. And the president of Qualys, Sumedh Thakar, is going to join us as well to intro this event. We'll be doing a deep dive next week on it as well with an all-star panel of analysts and customers, and I'll tell you more about that later. But that's going to take up the first hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes of our show today. I'll come back with some news. We're going to go over to Charlene O'Hanlon, our managing editor, who has the CEO of Clockwise, Matt Martin, on today. And then, of course, we'll head over to the Analyst Corner with Mitchell Ashley of Accelerated Strategies Group with his thoughts for the day. That'll wrap us up for the week. It'll send you guys off on what we hope will be a great weekend. Hopefully things are getting better where you are. The curve is flattening. Everyone's starting to settle in and feel a little bit more at ease with what we are dealing with. So with that, let me take a quick commercial and we'll be right back with Philippe Courteau.
Tech is strong. We may be working from home, but tech goes on. Tech will continue to collaborate. Tech will continue to communicate. Tech is strong. Join us for TechStrong Con, June 4th, 12 hours strong, Tech Strong. Featuring John Bacha-Galupe Willis, Shannon Leitz, William Hurley, Jasmine James, Kat Swatell, Cornelia Davis, James Wickett, Courtney Kistler, Damon Edwards. Live Q&A with speakers, exhibit halls, and more. Free, but register before spots fill at techstrongcon.com.
All right, as I mentioned, we're going to kick today's show off with an interview with Philippe Courteau. Philippe founded Qualys about 20 years ago. He's kind of legendary in the security space. He built Qualys into a very successful public company and continues to guide it and lead it very hands-on day to day. Philippe, you know, the VMDR that we're going to be talking about today is really Philippe's brainchild from a long time ago when he recognized that just vulnerability management wasn't going to be enough. He'll tell you more about it. Let's go to our interview with Philippe Courteau, CEO, chairman of Qualys.
This is Digital Anarchist.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm really happy to have Philippe Courteau, CEO, Chairman of Qualys, joining us today. As you know, we have a special edition of TechStrong TV today that is featuring the recent VMDR virtual event that Qualys put on just a day or two ago in its entirety. So if you weren't able to make the event, here's a great opportunity for you to see what went on there. And I thought even making it better than the original, we would have Philippe come on and sort of introduce what it is you're about to see from this virtual event. Philippe, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you very much, and my pleasure. Yes, so now this is going to be a great event for us because it has been many years in the making, and in fact, as many of you know, we started with vulnerability management, and of course, in order to do a very good vulnerability management program, you need to not only have a good view of your global IT asset inventory, you need to identify your vulnerabilities, you need to prioritize them, you need to remediate. It's very complex. It took us a long time to put all the pieces together as one single application. And this is what VMDR stands for: Vulnerability Management, Detection, and Response. One single app. And with that app, what you will see is that one, you can identify any device that connects to the network. You can then, of course, create your global IT asset inventory across on-premise, endpoint, cloud, containers, web applications, OT and IoT devices, and mobile environment. One single platform can help you do that very automatically, in fact. From there, you can identify the vulnerabilities across that entire hybrid environment. If you use our agent and the combination of our agent, and I will discuss about the technologies behind, then you have also the notion of real time. And then we have perfected our prioritization engines where you can have multiple filters. So that would give you a very good idea, and according to your own environment, not just with the CVEs and the severity, but what is the most important for you to remediate, because there's so many vulnerabilities that you cannot do it anyway, and then some may be severe but not reachable. So in that sense, you're not as exposed, of course. And then, of course, it's from there to remediate or to mitigate. That's one single application. So how do we do that? So the way we do that is that we started in the old good days through scanning, like your network, to identify those devices which were there. And then, of course, we perfected that technology. The problem, and today we run about 3 billion scans a year. The problem with the scanning is that it's not real time. It's also pretty heavy, because if you want to really have good information, you need to have what is called authenticated scans, which means you need to have the credential of the device. You need to, of course, have scanning windows. And all of that is pretty complex. So we introduced quite a few years ago our agent technology. Our agents are very unique in the sense that they are very small, a piece of code, less than 3 megabytes, that you could install in wherever you can install them, and they beam up the changes that occurs on the device. So it gives us the entire view from an IT security and compliance point of view of the device, that where you have been able to put an agent. And we have now today more than 30 million agents today out there, collecting significant amount of course of information continuously. And then we have added now very recently the passive scanning technology, as it's called, or the network analysis, where now whenever something connects to the network, we immediately know, and we can identify through a combination of machine learning and other technology that what is that device, and then you can decide whether this is a rogue device, whether this is a device you need to manage, and then you will put an agent on it, etc. And then on the top of that, we have also the network analysis. And all that information comes into one single backend, including connectors that we have created to get the data out of your Azure or Google. So we bring all that information into one single place, where we have now built, we have about 140 open source engines, We have built that at huge scale. For example, we index 3 trillion data points on our Elasticsearch clusters. We move about 5 billion messages a day on our Kafka bus. We pump on Cassandra about 1 million writes per second, and on and on and on and on. So we build that thing at huge scale. So VMDR is more than vulnerability management as a single app. It's also become the platform that collects all of that information for even other purposes. So for example, we are going to launch relatively soon, the ability, and we have to detect IOC, and we have expanded the agent capabilities to do the response as well. And so we're also moving into other dimensions because of that platform that we have built, which collect all the security and IT and compliance data that you really need. And that's what makes VMDR very unique.
Absolutely, because it's more, I mean, and Philippe, listening to you talk, I'm having flashbacks of the last 15, 20 years of my life. These were the problems we've always dealt with, right? With scanning. You could be internal, you could be external, but you couldn't scan if you were going to bring down the network during business. You needed credentials, all of these things you're dead on. The other thing, though, is in today's world, it's more than just the vulnerability data we need. We need to understand what is on there. When our networks are far-flung all over the world in cloud data centers and here and there, we need to know what is on our network, what really are our assets, let alone what are their vulnerabilities, what is their current posture. I mean, and so to me, the world screams for this kind of solution. But there's two things I wanted to hit on with you, and if you wouldn't mind. Number one, just undertaking this mission, because that's what it is, a mission. To undertake this mission required Qualys themselves to undergo their own digital transformation, to be able to scale. I mean, look, you were in the cloud before there was a cloud. I know personally. But the scale of this is, it demanded that you underwent a digital transformation with DevOps and Agile and everything else that we hear about, all of these cloud native and open source. And I don't know if, and I've spoken to Dilip about it, right? And it's a tremendous story of, you don't undertake this without undergoing yourselves a major transformation.
Oh, no, absolutely. And there is also another dimension. I will come back to your point. There's another dimension. If you look at what happened to our industry, there's been significant money which has been thrown into that market. There's so many companies which have essentially been born, and it was the race for growth. That's something that we resisted, because the problem is that if you go all the way for growth, then how do you get there? Building a platform like the one that we have built is not a walk in the park. We started with a very primitive architecture, which was a LAMP architecture, Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP. Then we had to evolve. And of course, we have done our entire digital transformation. We removed, for example, 70% of our VMware dependency. We have containerized application, everything's microservices. We injected Elasticsearch and now Kafka. And again, 140 open source engine. We have integrated our solutions with the CI/CD pipeline as well. So all of that digital transformation, we've done it, but we could not, because our market when we started was not big enough. Vulnerability management was kind of a small market. So we had to be patient. We could have acquired company and stitch this company together like we have seen so many other companies do. The problem is that it doesn't really work well on the enterprise, but in the cloud, it's almost impossible. Today, you have to really organically build all of that. So it did require patience. And despite the fact that we're public and we had a lot of pressure for growth, we always resisted. And interesting enough, because we were so disciplined at what we're doing, we ended up building a significantly, extremely profitable model, which allows us to essentially continuing investing in the platform. So it's all about the platform stupid, if I may say so. And that's where the unique differentiator that Qualys brings. And as we move into other bigger markets now, we're very close to that. then I think people will realize that, in fact, especially now, unfortunately, I would say with COVID, people realize that you cannot continue throwing people at the problem. You cannot continue add all these different applications. You need to consolidate your stack, and you need to move into the cloud. And so that's something that Qualys really helps, because on one hand, we can help our customers consolidate their stacks, eliminate significant costs, gain real time, have better visibility. And then on the other hand, we can help them secure their digital transformation as well, which is what we've been doing very well with Microsoft, integrating our agent with Azure, and you will see more announcements to come in that same direction as well.
Absolutely. And Philippe, the fact that we're interviewing you from home and the whole world is on quarantine only accelerates this. I think it puts a magnifying lens that it's not a question of throwing more people. If you don't move to the cloud, companies that didn't move to the cloud before this are finding themselves kind of behind the eight ball here, right? So we're going to see more and more of that as we emerge from
absolutely
from this present situation.
Absolutely. And this is the way I've always looked at Amazon in a very, there's some similarities. Obviously, Amazon has built a significant company. But what I saw in Amazon is that they first understood very clearly that they needed to build a cloud platform, just even to ship the books. And then, of course, the cost was tremendous because they wanted to do that at the scale of the planet. And then, of course, they were very smart to say, oh, what about if I essentially put that as a subsidiary, and that came AWS, so I could, in a way, pay for this huge development effort. But what they saw, which I didn't see early on, is the fact that for them, the distribution, they built 100 distribution centers, all automated. And of course, Wall Street was complaining because they were not growing fast enough.
Profitable.
Spending, they were not profitable enough, but they were investing. And today, look at the position that Amazon is into. It's absolutely incredible. People have now, like me, for example, I only shop on Amazon now. Why? Because I've got everything. And it comes to me.
You and me both.
Whole food, I can get it on wherever I want. And I don't have to worry about everything. All the information is there. And so that's absolutely...
It's an amazing experience they've built.
And I think security is going exactly into the same direction. And that's what I really believe that Qualys is extremely well positioned.
Perfect. We need to wrap up, but so folks are going to now spend an hour and a half at this VMDR live event. They understand what VMDR is. What should they look for on today's sessions, Philippe? Any highlights?
Oh, I think just look at how this is one single application. I mean, this is quite remarkable of putting that complexity where you can identify devices, create automatically your global IT inventory, find all your vulnerabilities, prioritize them, remediate them, mitigate them in one single application with all the workflows integrated. And this is absolutely this is a beautiful cloud application. And by the way, we also can deliver it on-premise as well, because the way we architected our cloud, we have today 85 private platforms, which are the same code base, but that we can deliver on-premise for those companies or in some geographies where the data cannot leave, if you prefer, the country or the premises of the company.
Again, another one of the advantages of microservices and containers. You can do stuff like that. Yeah,
of course, because the updates, etc. Now we continuous, everything is centrally managed and self-updating. That's, of course, really need a lot of cost in doing so. Absolutely.
Sure. All right, Philippe, thank you. We want to get to our event, though. We're going to take a deeper dive next week on VMDR. I don't know if you'll be on, or maybe Sumedh or someone. But for our audience, we're going to show you this today, and then next week we're going to maybe have some analysts, some customers, and we're going to take a good look at VMDR.
Very good. Yeah.
Philippe, thank you so much. Stay well, stay healthy. We'll be in touch.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, this is Alan Schimmel for TechStrong TV. We'll be right back.
SecurityBoulevard.com is the leading resource for news, analysis, and education on challenges facing the cybersecurity industry. SecurityBoulevard.com covers all aspects of cybersecurity, including data security, DevSecOps, cloud security, application security, network security, security threats, and more. SecurityBoulevard.com has the largest selection of security content, featuring breaking news, blog posts, podcasts, and more. Visit www.securityboulevard.com to learn more. SecurityBoulevard.com, home of Security Bloggers Network.
Okay, back here in the studio. Before we go to the Qualys VMDR event in its entirety, I want to also now play this interview that I just did with Sumedh Thakar. Sumedh is the president of Qualys and really kind of led the charge here on VMDR from a product point of view and development, and he'll give us some really good insights into it. So let's now go to Sumedh Thakar, president of Qualys.
This is Digital Anarchist.
Hey everyone, back here in the studio, and as part of our special coverage of the Qualys VMDR event that we're going to be showing in its entirety today, I invited Sumedh Thakar, president of Qualys, and really one of the driving forces behind the whole VMDR product and suite and platform, if you will. And I've asked Sumedh to come on here, and you've heard from Philippe. He gave you the whole reason behind VMDR, but Sumedh's going to talk specifically about what you're going to see for the next 90 minutes or so, which is a deep dive here on the Qualys event around it. Sumedh, welcome to TechStrong TV. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Alan. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
All right. So Sumedh, I'm going to put the onus on you here. Share with our audience, what are they about to see and what should they be looking for?
Yeah, so VMDR is